miss you and we love you. Don?
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I think anybody who knows me knows that it was going to be hard for me to keep myself together today. Can you believe that Butch wanted me to stand up here and sing a song? I just wanted to take the time to express to everyone what my daddy meant to me and how much he would be missed. I am his favorite daughter. And he'll tell you, he would tell you. He and my mother raised us in Inglewood. Each night, the news would tell the world how it was the most crime-ridden and violent neighborhoods, and that there were no fathers in the home, and all of the kids of the ghetto were going to be a statistic. This was not my reality. My siblings and nieces and my brothers were raised by my father. I stayed there until I was almost 30 years old. And if I wanted to go back home before he passed, he would have let me come back without no questions asked. Growing up, I was always upset with him because he was overprotective. Carmen and I were not allowed to roam the neighborhood or go home when the street lights came on. If I was going to the museum or to the movies with my friends, that was fine. But my place that I had to be was right in front of that house, on that porch. Going around anywhere was not an option. But as I got older and started to catch the bus and work, I quickly saw that there were predators out there and the evils of the world. And all he was trying to do was protect me and give me the chance to come into my own understanding. My daddy was a provider. My siblings and I, we didn't wear the newest fashions, but we were clean and presentable every day. We had our own washing machine, and that was a big flex in Inglewood. We got teased often because we didn't wear Jordans or fancy jackets the kids were getting killed over. And a few weeks ago, I heard my brother Brian telling my kids that superficial things didn't matter and they weren't important. And those kids who used to tease us with their Jordans on would knock on our door a few weeks later and ask us for something to eat. We needed nothing, and we didn't have to ask for anything. And I thank him and my mother for that, for teaching us the value of what's important. One of the things that I think we're going to all miss about him was his culinary skills and passions for cooking. He cooked meals from scratch for his kids each day. Do you know that song by Shirley Caesar? I got greens, beans,
Yes.
tomato paste. You name it, we had it. That was our house. There was nothing the daddy would not barbecue. He would do it every day if he could. Daddy literally smoked hogs, deer, and lamb. He went to the slaughterhouse and to the farm, and he took us with him to pick his meat and his Thanksgiving turkey. He even had his own meat slicer, and he made his own sausage. My weekends were spent shucking corn, peeling potatoes, cutting veggies, and stirring gravy. I would jokingly call him a pioneer man. I had his back knocked in his face. I wish that I had those skills. Me and my kids, we at the drive-thru now. So. Another thing that my daddy did to leave his mark in this world was that he had a no-nonsense demeanor. He didn't back up for anybody, and his perspective was his perspective. He meant it, and he wasn't going to change it, even if he could prove it. And lastly, I'm going to miss his expressive phrases that he used when he had a disdain for something or somebody. If he did not like the way you looked, I had to change some of the words for church. He could say, he looked like a baboon drinking vinegar. That boy over there that you like, he looked like homemade sand. Get him off my porch. If someone tested him physically, he would say, you better sit down because we know you can't bust a grape. Or you better watch it because you can't whoop your way out of a paper bag. Instead of calling somebody dumb, he would say, try to use your head for something other than a hat rack. Use the sense that God gave you. And my favorite, none of us can figure this out. You don't have sense to pour liquid out of a boot with the arrow pointing up. Before I leave, I just want to say that every time I go to a funeral and I lose an aunt or an uncle, I always sit there and I say, I want to make sure that I give them their flowers. And I don't. So I want to pay a small tribute to all the men that raised me with my daddy, Uncle Rufus, Elmo, Benny, Chris, and Charlie. My uncles in heaven, Joe, Ryan, Dennis, Maurice, Sammy, Michael, Kevin, and Uncle Solomon. I want to thank my brothers, Brian and Corey, for following his lead and helping me raise my boys, and also my husband, Kenneth. Daddy, I love you to the moon and back. I'm going to miss you always. I know you are in heaven right now barbecuing where they can't go and telling everybody what they need to do. I love you, and thank you, everybody.